I'm really enjoying this. Like, I think I want to give it a crack and just go in. Like, it's just so out of the blue. Like, how am I supposed to tell people I want to do this? And then I said it to my mum. She was the first person. I'm like, Mum, I think I want to like do MMA and like move down the coast. And she was like, what?
Today's guest is Max Kruger. Max recently blew up on social media when he made the crazy life decision to leave everything in his life behind, move to the Gold Coast where he now lives in his MMA gym, where he trains, eats, sleeps every day in the pursuit to achieve his dream of making the UFC. Before we kick into Max's podcast today, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, a rating on Spotify. It helps support us boys in the channel grow. Other than that, let's kick into it. Righto, point number 23, Max Kruger, brother.
Yeah, that's me.
How you going, bro?
Very well. Day's been going pretty well so far.
Yeah, 100. What's your nickname, bro? Mad Max, eh?
Yeah, that's what Coach gave to me.
True.
Yeah. It used to be, when I was playing footy, it used to be Freddie. Coach nicknamed me Freddie.
Freddie.
Yeah, Freddie Kruger. Yeah. Now it's Mad Max. That's Coach came up with it.
100. And do you go into your fights with that name? Like,
yeah, I will.
Stage name type thing?
Yeah, probably like Mad Max Kruger. That'd be pretty good.
100, bro.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's cleanest. So where's the story begin, bro?
Yeah, so now, as you boys know, like been living in the gym, training there, like down the Gold Coast here. Basically live on a like couple inch mattress sort of thing. Yeah, it's pretty different to what most people normally live in. Like wake up in the morning, put the mattress away, fold up the blanket sort of thing, a couple chores around the gym and then straight into training. Pretty awesome experience I've been finding. Just can't really get away from the training. It's always there. You're always doing every session and just learning every time.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%. So like, how long have you been in the gym for now? Like I was seeing, so you had that video on TikTok you put up, which blew up.
Yeah.
That's how we came across you, bro.
Yeah.
So like, how long ago was that? Did you upload that?
Oh, I think that was 2 or so months ago.
Yep.
Last time I checked, I think it was at like 1.6 million views, which is pretty crazy.
It's pretty gas.
Yeah, for like just starting out on TikTok, I've never really done anything before that. It's pretty awesome to get that sort of support, and even just like going back to Brizzy, just seeing some of my mates, like just seeing the videos, opens your mind to like what videos and what can happen.
Yeah.
Even with this, like you boys saw me through that, reached out, brought me here.
Yeah.
So yeah, been down the Gold Coast 7 months now. In the gym.
So yeah, you were based in Brizzy before.
Yeah. So I was a Brizzy boy, grew up in Brisbane, did a bunch of sports. I'll go into a bit of like what sort of led me to like where I am now. Basically, I'll just go before MMA. I was doing league, Brisbane Tigers.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you've done
East Tigers. Eh?
East Tigers. Yeah. You boys done a couple of league, you boys. Know the system. And wasn't really enjoying it there. I did it for 2.5 years. And by the last year and a half, I was like, I'm not really enjoying it. I was like put on the wing, wasn't feeling nurtured, or like each session I wasn't developing. I was just going, like some days would just be there, just stand on the wing and just not do anything.
Yep.
And that's not really me. I like getting better each day. And then third year preseason, I went to the South boys with like Carmichael and
that's Logan, isn't it?
Yeah, South Logan.
Yeah.
So really awesome to do preseason there. And I was sort of searching for a sport. I always wanted to do like just be an athlete, do something with it. And then came across Shindo down the Gold Coast. Yeah, and then just loved it.
It's kind of like the story of like Mike Tyson meeting his coach.
What's his story?
Well, he met that Italian coach. I think he was Italian and kind of like got it because Mike was like, I don't know if you've heard his podcast with Joe Rogan, but he was loose growing up. Like,
I heard that his coach just like came across him and turned him from like nothing to everything.
Yeah, well, pretty much he just guided him through life, like gave him a lot of value and pretty much like, I'm sure he must have been a phenomenal coach as well. So obviously, and I'm pretty sure within the first few moments of meeting him, he pretty much said he's going to be one of the best boxers ever to live, and Mike Tyson, like pretty much from there. But is that kind of like what your coach was like for you? He kind of
love my coach. He's legend. Like, wouldn't be where I am without him.
Yep.
He's taught me everything. I've done nothing in MMA or fighting before these past 7 months, and I've been really happy with how I'm doing. Really grateful for him letting me stay in the gym, he's the one who's like let me into the gym and train, and sort of like Mike Tyson, like training me up. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. And I've found a lot growing up with footy, with my old work, a lot of stuff that has to do whether you enjoy something is the people you work with and the coach or the team or the environment. And that's one why I didn't enjoy footy in my old work. And that's why I enjoy it so much here, because at the gym, at Shindo, like great group of boys, gyms, like coaches said it goes through like cycles, like train some fighters up and things happen with their family, doesn't really work out, and there'll be like a new cycle of boys coming through, trying to train. Got a good crew coming through, and coach just being a great coach, so nurturing. Yep. Oh, this is one as well. He's my godfather.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of comments as well addressing this have been like, oh, how do I get into a situation like this? How do I sleep in the gym? Or how did it come about? So Coach Kerry Dunn, he's one of best mates with my dad. Like he used to do stuff with like music, had a band and stuff. And Dad was a roadie with him. He's my godfather, and just came across him, and once I had a session, once I was old enough, I just loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro.
True.
So is fighting something like you've always been interested in, like watching growing up, or is it just all come new to you? And
no, not at all, man. Not at all. Like I barely watched any fighting growing up. I'll watch fights like now because I'm involved in it. But yeah, that's why it was such a big sort of jump for me to go from rugby to this.
Yep.
Like I literally was searching for something after hating where I was with work.
Yep.
Funnily enough, went on like a date down the Gold Coast. And then after it was over, I was like around the suburb. I'm like, oh, like Godfather, like he lives around the corner. I'll drop in and say hi.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you should come in for a training session. And then it just went from there. I'm like, I feel like Volkanovski, like he started like 24, I think it was 23. He was a footy player as well. And that made me go, like, it's still not too late to pursue a sort of sporting career. Yeah. Because that was always a concern. I was like, in school, like I did a lot of tennis and a lot of footy, like union in school. And I always had these regrets, a big influence, what led me to do this now. Regrets going, I wish I like knuckled down on tennis when I was like young enough. I wish I knuckled down on footy, or I wish I like played soccer like my mates in school. Like some of them are over in Europe now. One of them's playing for the Raw. I was like, like I feel like I'm their athletic ability. Like I could have been that, could have been an athlete. And then I came across MMA and I was like, I got a shot here. And I just went all in.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty awesome.
100, bro. So you would have been, were you still 19 at the time, then you've turned 20 since?
I turned 21
you're 21 now,
in
bro.
July. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So 21 and a month old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Far out, bro. And like from there, so you've started, you do a few sessions first in the gym, and then you decide to make that like drastic decision, like, nah, I'm going to live in the gym. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So I was at the point, like I said, not enjoying footy, not enjoying my work. I did real estate. Like I was an agent, commercial real estate agent for a year. And
so door-to-door sales, what are you doing?
A bit of door-to-door sales, a lot of responding to emails, making cold calls, talking to people, which is good. But it just wasn't really for me. Don't like sitting in an office, and I was always by the like back end of 6 months, like, nah, I want to like do something like awesome. I want to do something great. I want to like be a high achiever, which I could do in real estate, but I'm not a really studious. I am, but I wouldn't classify myself being a great, like smart person. Like my brother has like engineering degree, like he's got the smart genes.
Yep.
He's an athlete as well, but I also think I really like my sport and I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Like now, like had walked in with my coffee, but like if I was tired, I wouldn't be able to sit down and do uni. I'd be like, nah, I'm going to bed. But that's the great thing with sport and MMA. If I'm tired, you just push through and have a sleep later, and it doesn't bother me as much.
Yep.
But this morning, what happened and how every day works, like woke up at 5 a.m, got a private where people like come in, like they do a private session and I help like hold pads or get involved, like do a bit of jiu-jitsu, wrestling and stuff. So that's an hour. After that so that's 5:45 to 6:45. Then 7 to 8, we've got group classes, like people, whoever wants to come in the morning So that's another hour. We did like kickboxing and boxing and a bit of jiu-jitsu this morning. And then during the day, I'm doing this podcast now, but I'll normally head off to like the gym, got an EMF around the corner.
Yep.
Do some weights. I'm really liking cold and hot baths though.
Yeah.
I love them at the moment. Yeah. I hate them, but that's why I love them.
Yeah.
Like, I feel super focused after, not straight after, but if I do them for like a week, I just feel like the mental side of it really helps me. And then doing a bit of training, like 2 days ago, I did 50 minutes of just like wrestling and grappling they've got a cage there. It's pretty awesome. Just like chill, just work on what you want, learn a lot from that. So 2 morning session during the day, weights, bit of cardio at the gym. And then the afternoon will be like help out with a kids class. Like yesterday afternoon or this afternoon, there'll be an hour of Colts, which is like kids in school.
Yep.
Or little kids, like preschool little ones, they're fun. And then a 2-hour session after that.
Yep.
Yeah. So all in all, 2 sessions in the morning for 2 hours, hour during the day at the gym, and then like 2 hours in the night.
Yeah, wow.
And
So
you're just doing that day in, day out.
Yeah, pretty much. Not on Sundays, and
That's kind of like
Saturdays
your
a
rest
half
day. Yeah.
Saturday's a half day. We do fight training. Monday's a half day, just in the afternoon. Session.
You're probably fine, bro. Like doing those sessions, like you got those private classes and the kids classes. You get to stand back and like really understand technique a lot more, and you explaining you know, your jab, your cross, all your basic stuff like that. You like run through those systems day in, day out through your head. Like it's just second nature, bro. You find that already, that like when it comes to you fighting, you just like you're talking about like it's your language every day. You're just talking fighting all day. Like you said, like your 4 sessions, is that like really helping you?
Yeah, for sure.
When you're fighting?
Yeah. I think I watched a video of Joe Rogan saying it. He said like jiu-jitsu is a physical language that people learn. Yeah. So like you might learn Spanish or Japanese. It's another language in itself that you're practicing.
Yep.
And being like at the gym every day around those private sessions, that's why I'm so grateful, because even if I'm not doing anything and I'm helping out, I'm still picking up on everything coach says to the boys. And
because bro, you're like like look at your feed, bro. You're progressing. You look like you've been doing your whole life almost.
Yeah,
like you're already,
bro,
you're already winning like grappling tournaments and stuff. Like
I'm certain the physicality of rugby transfers over really well to those wrestling.
Yep.
And I've found the mental side of tennis has been so beneficial.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's sort of why also I'm so happy with MMA, because all those regrets I had, I wish I did sport, I wish I did soccer, I wish I did all these things and knuckled down.
Yep.
And then when I was doing rugby, I was like, I feel like I'm a bit too small for footy. I have an endurance like strength, not a sprint strength.
Yep.
Now when I've got to MMA, everything sort of come together perfect. Like I'm like, tennis has worked for me so well for mental side of things.
Yep.
Rugby, physical side of things. And it's just really happy to be doing it.
With tennis as well, you really with reaction too. That's probably another major one.
I said this to a mate's mum and she had a bit of a chuckle at me, but I said MMA's tennis without a net.
Yeah.
But explaining that it's someone hits a ball, you react to it. If someone throws a punch, you're reacting to it. You're playing 2-3 hours of like several sets of a mental game against someone else. A lot of it, you could be in the warm up against someone else. They can be smashing you, but when it comes to the game, it's like mental.
Yeah.
Nadal said that as well. I think it was in his book, like the difference between the top 100 tennis players and like the top 500, even though like they're touring a lot, is a lot of the mental side of the sport.
Yep. Yep.
And doing so many hours of that, I feel that solidified my mind a bit in that aspect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and the other thing I want to know, bro, is your diet. Like I've seen you do your videos on your diet and all that, like your nice dinners and that, like your broccoli and all that. They're clean. And like, are you really starting to dive into like your meditation and reading a lot more? Do you do a lot of that, or?
I haven't been doing much meditation and reading, but my diet is an interesting one because I go back home to Brisbane on the weekends where my family lives. My brother and sister, I get to see them. But during the week when I come down the Gold Coast here, it's just like knuckle down. Like I won't touch like a gummy bear.
Yep.
So I've found that really works for me. Like keeping that like home work sort of balance you hear people speak of. I just full like focus mode down the Gold Coast as best as my abilities. No Maccas, no sweets. We'll meal prep and just eat all healthy. And then when I come back to Brisbane on the weekends, I might have some sweets, might have like a donut or something that I just want a bit of chocolate.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my diet. And I post it on my Instagram. You can kind of see what I eat: rice, broccoli, meat. Pretty straightforward. And with the meditation, a bit into that. Like, do you do a bit yourself? Is that?
Yeah, bro. It's something that Joy and I both do. And you just, I don't know, it's just you get to like think about what's bothering you pretty much. Yeah. Have your own time. Get to think through like, why am I feeling like this? What can I do to avoid it or improve it? Or how can I overcome it? Yeah, bro. I feel like if you just do it consistently, I do it in the mornings before work. I feel like it starts your day like chill, cruisy. Like, I don't know how you go about it, Jordan, but
yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of it much lately, but I really like to get back into it and start doing a lot more.
Yeah, you just really get to like, you kind of like analyze situations in your life that you don't really focus on usually because you're so busy. You like kind of just like throw it in the corner. You're like, oh, fuck it. It'll be right. You'll get over it. But I feel like when you meditate, you deal with it and you actually go into detail about like why, like I said, how you can avoid it. And it's just a little 1%ers, bro. I feel like that.
Yeah. So when you boys do it, will you just sit down in the morning and then whatever thought comes to mind, you just sit on, think about, sort of solve through?
I just lay down, bro, focus on my breathing. I usually even put on like certain music or sounds on. And then, bro, just whatever comes to mind. Pretty much. Yeah. So,
and how long will you do that for normally?
Oh, honestly, bro, I usually wake up, do my morning routine, like health routine and that. Water, like those life cycle now. Yeah. Kicking into that. We were talking about that. And just before I go to work, I'll just lay down real quick and just chill there for 10, have the alarm on. Then she kicks off, we get up and just gap it to work. So I feel like, because I did have one experience that actually like went real deep. Like you feel like you fell into a hole and you're like, holy fuck. Look,
when you wake, like when you open your eyes or in it?
No, like, in it. Like you trip out a little bit. I had that. I've only had once, but it was crazy, bro. Like just, you feel like you fall into a hole and you feel like you're full just tripping out. Yeah. And like,
Really with those like Wim Hof breathing, I've seen that like they'll start like seeing stuff or like spasming out.
Oh yeah. Are you into Joe Rogan a bit?
Oh, I've watched a couple.
I was going to say he had that one bloke that had that full, what is it, Jord?
He was
psilocybin. Is that how you pronounce it?
No, it was, all right, I forget now, but it was illegal drugs. He like smoked on a podcast. What was it? Damn.
He lived for 4 months underwater or something.
He had like...
I've seen a clip of that. Yeah.
Like he had
it was DMT, wasn't it? I think.
Nah, it was,
No, yeah. I think it's
it was something like that, but he had it and it was like only 15 minutes long. Like in real time, but he felt like he was living an alternative life underwater for 4 months. He had a family, wife, kids, and like he came back to him like in reality, and he's like trying to like breathe, like because he's been breathing water for like 4 months, he reckons, and he's like feels like he's choking and he's trying to get water, and it's just like there's a video of him. There's actually a video of him doing it on the podcast. Like it's insane.
Live streamed him smoking it, and then he just. And when he came back to life, like full freaking out, like everyone's trying to help him. He's like trying to like throw everyone off him and
like, no, get off me, I'm a fish.
He reckons before he came back, he was like looking up and he could see like at the surface or like the ocean or something. He could see like his mates in the room. He was with.
That's crazy.
It's off tap, eh?
Just the stuff you can see with your own mind, I guess.
Yeah, bro, 100. But yeah, meditation, I feel like something that should become common practice by everyone, eh? Especially when it comes to stress and that.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of like that idea, like, oh, let's go. Like, why would you do that? But really, bro, like if you want to improve like your mental game, I feel like meditation's massive.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had another guy who's moved into the gym, Brogan. He's had a couple fights in 1FC, which is like UFC, but like the Asian version of it.
Yeah.
Like pretty big over there and pretty awesome. Like he's moved in the gym as well. He's pretty big into meditation.
Yeah, bro.
Like after a session, he'll just sit there, AirPods in. Done a couple with him. He like listens to just like not music. Sorry.
What noise?
Words. No. Like, a bunch of like people just speaking.
Oh yeah.
And focuses on that, I think. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's what meditation, you kind of like, some people do it without music and nothing. But I feel like a lot of people do listen to like either like music or like you were saying, someone speaking and they just focus on that.
Yeah.
So it can be in a way of just like finding peace in your mind, just like having a breather, or like the way I see it, I like to like, if it comes to whatever comes to mind, I like to like deal with it, go into detail. And I feel like the more you like actually get like really into it, like trying to figure it out, the more you like just focus and you just find yourself like in this little world of your own. So something to get into, bro. Yeah. I rate it. So, but other than that, bro, like I want to get back into the fighting and that. So have you actually done an MMA fight yet?
No, I've not done one.
True. Yeah.
So hopefully I've got one coming up in December.
Yep.
In Proving Grounds, there's down the Gold Coast. Got my name down for that. Pretty keen for one though. I've been trying to get one, and a couple like ones before didn't really work out. So yeah, I'm keen to do one. But then again, that goes back to the thing, sort of in my story, getting into MMA, and a lot of, I guess, a message for other people. You should just go for like something you want to do, like go for your dream, go for what you want. It was like such a big shock for my family, my boss, like coaches to go, I've never done MMA before, but I want to give it a crack, like go into it. And then everything I thought was holding me back, like parents' opinion, grandma's opinion, my auntie's opinion, who I never even see, just going, oh, what are they going to think of me? Like, haven't even had a fight before. And then you do it, and then you realize they're supportive and they're just happy that you're doing what you want as well. Yeah, I feel that transfers over to so many things in life. Do what makes you happy. Obviously, like take on other people's opinions and listen to advice, and
you can't be arrogant. Yeah. You got to be like, you got to take in the words, but sometimes you can't just like brush it and like, okay, whatever. Like,
would you say like it was something like a speed bump, like you were worried about proposing this transition from being a real estate agent to like full-time fighting to like your family and parents, and that was like stopping you from actually taking the leap? Or
yeah, well, I can just remember I was sitting at my desk at work. I'd been going to training, like driving, because it was in Brisbane, work. I drove for like 3-4 months here and there, like once, maybe twice a week down to the Gold Coast to train after work. So that's like hour there, hour back, 2 hours. And I was just going, I'm really enjoying this. Like, I think I want to give it a crack. I'm pretty keen into it, and just going like, it's just so out of the blue. Like, how am I supposed to tell people I want to do this? And then I said it to my mum. She was the first person. I'm like, Mum, I think I want to like do MMA and like move down the coast. And she was like, what? Like what's going on? But yeah, just kept on pushing with it. And then Dad saw as well, I was sticking with it, coach helping me, pushing me along. And then it just came to the point where I was like, he said, do you want to like move in? I'm like, oh, let me think about it. Because I learned so much about myself through this experience as well. How I like process information, how I do all that. Thought about it for a week. I'm like, yep. Once I made my decision, like, yep, that's what I want to do. Had to like tell the boss, tell the coach. I remember vividly going up to Carmichael as well, going like, thanks for this opportunity. Like Carmichael Hunt with the South. Thanks for the opportunity. I've been loving this. But I just don't have that drive with rugby that I do with MMA, and I want to give it a crack.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy how when a TikTok come about that you're just like, I'm just going to like, you know, advertise this and kind of like, in a way, tell your story on TikTok. Like, you just didn't care. You just like this is like your passion for it must have been like crazy, bro. If you just went out there and just like, nah, this is it. This is what I'm doing. Hands down. Have you always been like that?
Like always really forward, or like
very forward, and just like don't give a fuck, man. Like you just like, you know, this is my life. I'm gonna do me.
I don't think as much. I don't think I've always been someone like slightly arrogant, going, oh, this is what I want. I've always been, even growing up, someone who's pretty giving and friendly and like caring. But yeah, like I said before, it was sort of a big learning point. Growing up, you kind of do stuff, just not an adult. You're doing what other people tell you, like you're in school, or I might go to uni. And then I was like, this is just, thought about it on my own accord, and went for it. Yep. So I don't know if I've always been like that and in control. But now I feel that's why I'm happy I'm doing it again, doing MMA, because I made the decision, like I want to do this. I want to do it. Whereas rugby was Dad's sort of decision. He put me into it with league. I loved rugby and like playing with the boys, but it was ultimately his sort of passion, his dream. He was a footy boy. He played for the Jets.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yep.
When he was a youngin'.
Yeah.
And then I went, this is like what I want to do. This is like my decision. That's why I like it. And I feel that because I've made the decision to pursue this, I'll stick to it.
Yeah, and I give you that drive, like having like just yourself back, no one else, but
and it helps in the
prove
day.
everyone wrong, really.
Yeah, exactly. And it helps in the days when you are feeling tired or unmotivated. You like look back in my past and go, I said to myself, I'm sticking with this. Like I want to make UFC.
Yeah.
Like this is my decision.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Yeah. Whereas rugby, I'm like, oh, it's a bad day. Like, oh, nah.
Yeah, training.
So yeah, it's good that it's been my own decision. Just like you boys doing this podcast, you want to do this and you feel motivated to keep sticking to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, I'll also like touch back again. Like you're saying that kind of it's only been lately that you've had that mindset that, you know, you're going to drive for your passion, do what you want to do. Was there like a source of information you heard or seen, or was there someone in your life, like even just online, bro, like they kind of change your mentality? And
yeah, a lot of it has just been my past experiences and how they've worked out to make me make the decision. So I'll go back even into school, like, because I've thought about this a bit when I was making this decision and dropping everything I've been doing and changing my life sort of thing. What led me? Why am I doing this? Why do I want to make this? Why do I want to pursue it? I think it came down to when I was in school, starting like grade 4, wasn't that athletic actually. I was a bit of a chubby sort of kid. Hit puberty, I think a bit earlier than other kids, and I had the mentality, I was like, oh, I'm like doing pretty good at sports. Started winning like inter-house cross country, those sorts of things. And then that passed on like through like 7, 8, 9. Like every person I looked at, I sort of had this weird mentality like, oh, I think I'm a bit of a better athlete than you. And I've seen this, I don't know who it was. I think it was Alex Hormozy. And I related with it a lot. There was someone who said the 3 traits of a high achiever or someone who's done really well is they're not, was it arrogant, or they think they're better than everyone else at something.
So yeah, they think they're better than everyone else, but I think at the same time they don't. In a way.
They've got a fear of not doing well and not being able to.
Yeah, they think they're better than everyone else, but they have a fear they're not good enough. That's one. The other, and oh shit, I'm stuck too. Trying to remember it. There's number 2, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Touching on those ones, that was where I think I'm better than everyone else at athlete or sport came from. Like mates who did soccer. I remember my mate Cyrus plays for the Raw. If he hears this, I haven't told him this. I remember like in HP, we were doing a soccer or football like subject. And I was like, and running around, I'm like, I'm as fast as this kid. I'm as athletic. We're the same size. Like we're an equal athlete. Yep. If he makes it like pro as a football player, like I know I could have done it too. And he is. I'm like, damn. So thinking I was like equal, people who were doing other sports like water polo, had a mate who was doing national water polo.
Water polo is hard, bro.
Yeah.
It is hard.
I don't know too much about it either.
Nah, it's like I've got swimming background and I've known people that do it, and bro, it's crazy endurance, man. Yeah. You have to
tread water fit. Like that egg beater. Like
you have to be so fit, man.
Yeah.
It is very tiring, but yeah, bro. Like
and then going into like those high levels in school, like 10, 11, 12, I looked at a lot of mates going, they're doing so well, achieving high levels in sport. But I was more of the jack of all trades, doing everything, not specializing in one, like doing cross country, tennis, rugby, track and field.
You're spreading energy into like all.
Shot put, discus. I've like, you name most sports, I've done it.
Yep.
And I always like had this again regret. Oh, I wish I knuckled down on a sport. I wish I did this. And then so I had that regret that I wish I'd focused on a sport. I wish I focused on a sport because if I did, I think I'd be better than everyone. And then it got to MMA where I was like, I can focus on this sport. Like I'm not going to have this regret bother me for the rest of my life. And when I'm 80, go to my deathbed. And I think I'm still young enough to give it a crack. And that's sort of my thinking and why it led me to doing this.
You invested much into David Goggins at all? His mindset or nah?
He's got an interesting mindset. I watched some of his videos.
Yep.
Brother's got his book. I read a bit of that. Know a bit of his story.
Yep.
I haven't watched too much into him.
Yeah. Because I think one thing that you shared in your mindset is kind of like he has a video or like quote where, you know, one day like you die and say like when he was like 300 pounds, like spraying cockroaches, like, you know, I died, I kept doing spraying cockroaches. I was 300 pounds for the rest of my life. I walked up the staircase of heaven. I mean, this like his mindset, like this were to happen, like you walk up and there's a guy there and he goes, David Goggins, you know, like, and he just listed off like, you know, Navy SEAL, run.
These are the things you could have been.
Yeah, pretty much everything he's done, but like, in a sense that like 300 pound him, like this, everything he could have been.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck me, that's not me, man. It's like, nah, it's who you're supposed to be. And bro, like, I feel like so many people that would just hit them so hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like for you with that mindset, you're like, you know, you could have had all those things you knuckled down on, but when it comes to MMA, you're like, nah, like
I found what the way to outlet and like go.
And you're like, in a way, like you get to an age, say like the day you do pass away, like in obviously 100, 120 and you do walk that staircase, it's like, man, you're supposed to be like UFC champion. You're like, fuck. Like, so I think that's what you have. You're like, just like, nah, I don't want to take that risk. I'm just going to go for it. And that's what I see in you, bro. Like that mindset.
On that, I agree. I did have that even when I was doing rugby or the real estate job. I just thought to myself, like, I can be better than this. Like, I don't want to die not being like written in a history book somewhere or just being a real estate agent who made enough money to like have a nice house, blah, blah, blah. I want to
had the mortgage, had a nice family.
I really I want to achieve something great and feel like I did really well. This is like the full potential I could have been.
Yep.
Exactly on that. And big driver for me as well.
Yeah,
he's got that. I've seen a video of Goggins like wringing out his sweat towel. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah,
each drop I wring out is like every bit of success. I want to wring it out completely.
He's got some class videos.
He's a crazy man. I think a tiny bit as well.
Oh, bro, I was
in a good way.
I was running to his audio book on Audible. I was running to it for a while, and bro, like he had a crazy life growing up, hey? Like, dad used to like just beat them up. Him and his mum and his other brother, like they just worked like crazy hours at the skate rink. He was like a massive pimp, I think. His old boy.
He was a what?
I think his old boy was like a pimp. Like, they grew up in like Brooklyn, New York, like rough as. And like got away from his dad. Or his mum, left his dad. And then just had this crazy childhood of like, you know, being black and growing up in where they grew up, it was like real racist. Like they had the Ku Klux Klan, so something like that. But that they used to like have a massive community in the same town he grew up in. Like just all these things, bro. Like just this story is just crazy, man. Yeah, and that's I guess why he has the mindset of like, you know, nothing fucking hurts me type of thing. So
sort of brings me back to the King Arthur movie. It's on like the two Williams sisters.
That's a good movie.
Sort of like I think they grew up in Compton, like such a white person sport.
Yep.
And then they like changed the way they like,
Yep.
Yeah. Inspirational.
100%, bro. But with your MMA fight, so you got one coming up soon, eh?
Yeah, December. Yep. So
we had Joel. Who was I talking to? Doing something. Might even be, I've been doing Muay Thai recently, bro. And I've been talking to his, you know, after every session, he talks about people trying to get fights. And he was talking about one girl that's been trying to get a fight for ages, bro, like trying to get someone from Melbourne. They canned on her and all these other scenarios. So like trying to get people. And then at the end, she like just felt like real sick and just canned it all. So like with finding fights in MMA, how hard is it to get someone on the cards to organise?
Not too difficult. It's sort of an art in itself trying to find someone who's a fair rival, fair competition. Like say the promoter of the event, coach will reach out to them, say, I've got a student pupil lad like looking for a fight. He's so-and-so wants to compete in this weight division. First fight, try and find someone first fight as well.
Yep.
Same weight class. Just trying to match up similarities. Not too overly hard.
Yep.
Is there like a time period like where you have to like say you're looking for a person, you find a person? Is it like a like a gap where you like there has to be enough time for training, or like are you able to just get straight into it within like a couple months?
Yeah, it could be like ages out. Like mine, I could have a match tomorrow, and then we could have months and months to train, or it could be like a week. Like someone pulled out from another fight, there's already a match, and that goes ring up coach and go, oh, these guys pulled out.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So it can be anything, but ideally you want to have like a couple months.
Yeah, to train and get ready for it. Do you have like a manager that goes out and looks for all this, or is it what you're doing?
Yeah, that's
yourself?
Coach.
Oh, your coach
is great. Yeah, he's been doing it for like years and years and years.
Yeah.
Like I think he's like one of the best coaches. I don't ever want to go anywhere else.
Yep.
Because he's just, a lot of the other gyms, he's even said, like always, they do really well, and then they get shut down. Like there's UFC gyms around here, they're getting shut down because it's not working that well. Yeah. So yeah, he's got contacts and people to call.
Yeah, sweet.
Just reaches out for fights.
Yeah, man. Do you think after this first fight that they'll start coming more consistently and you'll start like doing a lot more?
I hope so. Hopefully way more consistently. I've even had people on social media like say, oh,
fight me.
Like, yeah, like I'll be your first fight. Yeah. Maybe I could do that. Maybe have a couple and then fight them. But yeah, hopefully more regularly. Like obviously the more the better, the more experience.
Yeah.
That's how you get better. Yeah. Like doing the actual fight, not just training.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's mad. Yeah.
Have you done much weight cutting? I've seen you've done one video on weight cutting. Yeah, how are you finding that?
That killed me. Killed me. Obviously it was like just for a grapple comp, wasn't for an actual fight. But what was I? I think I was 80 kilos and I cut down to, or I was
77,
82.
I think.
Yeah. I was 82, cut down to 77.
Yep.
In like a week and a bit. And I was just barely eating any carbs. The last couple of days I didn't eat like any fiber in my diet either. Because like fiber like sticks in your gut and like is an extra half kilo.
True.
Yeah. And then just not eating any carbs, just like you just wear out in training.
And you do a lot of sweating too.
Yeah. So then day of, hopped in because it wasn't like a fight like you weigh in the day before. Just day of that grapple comp, just do a hot bath, sit in it.
Yep.
Sweat it out.
So one thing I want to know is like, because pretty much all your UFC, like all your weight cutting, do you try fight in a division that's say your natural weight is, what terms do you use? In Australia, they use kilos or they still use pounds when it comes to weight divisions?
Kilos, pounds, or both, I guess.
Yep. So I guess I'll just reference to pounds, but like, say if you're naturally, I don't know, 180 pounds, but weight division, you have to cut down to what if you're 180 pounds, you would try aim to fight in the 160 pound weight division or like 170. Sure. Yeah. So is that what every fighter does? They try like cut down to find the smallest division?
Definitely. Because if you in a fight, it's sort of like unfair or legalized like cheating in a way. Because if you say you're 90 kilos, I'm 80 kilos, I weigh in on the day 80 kilos, but you've sat in a hot bath for the day of, sweated out 10 kilos. So hypothetically, the next day of fight, you're 90 kilos, I'm 80. There's a bit of an unfair advantage there.
And that's the thing with weigh-ins like UFC, and I've heard Joe Rogan talk about, he reckons it's stupid. Like they do the massive weight cut, they do the weigh-in, and then the fight's not until the next day. So they have a whole day to rehydrate.
Yeah, eat food, put on all this weight back.
And then, like you said, you can be 80 and then back to, obviously putting on 10 kilos is a bit extreme, but like you can still whack on 2-3 kilos.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty quick.
I think even Pereira in his last fight against Adesanya, I think he put on like 8 or so kilos
in one day.
Yeah. Around there, like a lot. Like he was considerably larger.
Fuck.
Yeah. But at that cost, you're more tired and fatigued.
Yep.
So it's sort of like to the best of my knowledge, like juggling, finding out what works best with you.
Yeah. But even with that, we had Talis Nunn. He does powerlifting, bro. And they have to weigh in and then they have a lift in even like 1 or 2 hours. And even with him, like it's obviously a lot more extreme with like how much food you eat and all that, because you don't want to eat too much because otherwise you get too bloated and all that. With
throw up mid-lift.
Yeah. Even over one day, you still wouldn't be smacking back too much, would you? You'd still be like having small increments of food over the like 24-hour period.
Yeah. Being steady with it. I was talking to another training partner, Trey. He said he had a mate, obviously like I haven't got too much experience myself, but yeah, just ate a bunch of big steaks night before morning off. Just like, yeah, I'm keen to, I've been starving myself, and it was just like mid-fight, like basically almost throwing up, just not feeling good. Fuck. So yeah, you've got to monitor it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like with nutrition plan, do you have a nutrition plan yet? Or
Yeah. So I went to one of the Broncos nutritionists, like in Brisbane.
Oh, true.
I got a booking in with him, pretty awesome. And he gave me like a nutrition plan. He's not like an MMA specialist with all the cutting and stuff, but he gave me a good plan, like with a good ratio of carbs, veggies, and like proteins, and how to sort of stick around that.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's pretty good.
Yep. Start from there. But when you get more serious down pat, you would have, do they go to the extreme of like doing lab tests on you, or tests on your body, like what, this amount of carbs and this amount of protein works best for your, I guess, body? Do they go to that extreme? Do you know? Or
no, I hope that happens when I'm like down the line and I got some like people testing me, and that'd be pretty sick. Like getting the perfect like human balance, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's just sort of figure out what works for you, trial and error.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Right, bro. I think we'll kick into future manifestations, bro. I guess we all have a bit of an idea, like, guess what you'd say, a bit of an affirmation, like your goal is to make the UFC, bro.
Yep, definitely.
That's still your main drive and mindset.
Yeah.
So what time range, I guess, do you have a bit of a plan in mind, like how many years you're aiming to kind of achieve that goal, or you're just going to go like just train till I die pretty much train till I make it in a way?
Yeah, second one, train till I make it.
Yeah.
No set plan, because I found with my old job, the real estate, I went, I'll do this for a year and then I'll reevaluate and think at the end of the year.
Yep.
And that sort of puts like a bit of a catch-22. I'm like, what do I want to do? Yep. So I don't want to put a time frame on it, because I don't want to question myself. I just want to go, I'm going to stick to it.
Yep.
And just focus on each comp leading up. Like I've got another grappling comp up in Brisbane in a month. Focus on that, training well for that. Focus on the fight at the end of December, winning that, obviously. I want to obviously focusing on trying to win.
Yep.
I will win everything. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And then take it step by step.
Yeah.
And overarching goal, make the UFC, do as best I can in there.
Yeah, big Dana.
Yeah. Dana. Have you seen that video of McGregor? He's like, 50 G's, baby.
I love it. Have you watched McGregor's documentary on Netflix yet?
Yeah, I've watched a bit of it.
Bro, it's so good, man.
Yeah. As much of a pest he is, it shows like how promoting yourself and doing well on that side of things as well can help.
What I'm really getting with even like people like Jake Paul, bro, like in a way, like you wouldn't know who they were if they weren't who they are, in a way, just out there, just raging. Like Conor McGregor is just like, Conor McGregor's Conor McGregor. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Says what he wants. It's just absolutely crazy to a next level. Like,
I guess that's what brings in the attention.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why even Mike Tyson's like kind of like praising in a way like Jake Paul, because like a lot of them seen boxing, a lot of boxers, like boxing was like dying. It was a dying art in a way. Like it was not getting the views it used to. Like
it's dropping off in like highest paid athletes.
Yeah,
as well,
when you're also talking to areas like Muhammad Ali and like Mike Tyson in his prime, like the views they were getting compared to now, like it was dying. Like people like Jake Paul, it might be YouTube, but like what Mike Tyson was praising for is he's just bringing like the attention back to boxing. He's putting boxing back on the map.
Yeah, exactly. And he's targeting that younger generation, the generations that is coming up.
Yeah.
Like the old, like even I think Dana said it with the UFC, like he's got the Nelk boys promoting his stuff.
Yeah, bro.
Because that's targeting the younger generation. That's where it's coming through.
Yep.
And that's also why it's another great thing. I'm happy to do it, because younger generation he'll be watching.
Yeah,
watching it later. Yeah,
that's it, bro.
100%. Well, bro, I reckon you're gonna go far as you got a steel-plated mindset.
Yeah.
Decided to jump the gun, go for it. It's working out so far. You're gonna go far as I reckon. 100% make it.
Hopefully, just keep sticking to it. Keep that
grinding,
good mindset.
Honestly, bro, just keep your energy, eh?
Yeah.
Like you've honestly, bro, you've honestly got it all figured out, eh? And I think just if you just keep your discipline and mindset, bro, like there's no doubt in the world that you'll make it. So
100%.
Best of luck to you, brother.
Yeah, cheers.
We'll be backing you the whole way, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You'll let us know date and times for your fights. Come have a watch, eh? First
Yeah,
one, debut. That was sick.
It'll be down the Gold Coast, so if you boys make the drive down.
Yeah, 100%. We'll come down and have a watch.
Yeah.
Bro. Like that's the plan, bro. We definitely want to be booking in trips, like, you know, once a month, come down here doing 4 potties with, you know, other people that are doing great in their lives. So yeah, bro, we'll work around and come watch you, bro. That'd be maddest.
Get another potty in after
post fight. Right, bro. It's been a pleasure. Cheers for coming on, man.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me as honour.
All right. Catch us later.
Peace.
Bye.